everyone, welcome back. I'm Melissa Pineda, and today I will be discussing the book The 7 Decisions: Understanding the Keys to Personal Success by Andy Andrews. This book was published in 2008, and Mr. Andrews is a life coach and motivational speaker. So, what is this book about, and why would you want to read it? Well, Mr. Andrews argues that there are 7 decisions, and if you decide to master even one of them, never mind all 7, it can drastically change the course of your life. So, having said that, I'm going to dive right in. Before I do, if there's anything today that you hear that you like, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It will really help me to continue to stay on this path of book reviewing and providing book reviews. So thank you, and let's begin. Mr. Andrews has a fascinating personal story. So he was 19 years old. He lost both of his parents. He was really angry, and he ended up on the street. He was homeless for, I believe, a decade. And one day he just passed his local library, and he went in. He got his free library card, and he just started reading and reading and reading. And what he started with and what he really became focused on and passionate about were biographies. So he read like hundreds of biographies a year, he said. Some of the first ones that he read that were really impactful were the ones of Winston Churchill, Joan of Arc, and Viktor Frankl. So he started noticing patterns and similarities. So Mr. Andrews says these individuals that he was reading about were guided by similar principles and belief systems and saw the world in a similar way that guided their actions. What he noticed was contentment. Contentment with life, regardless of these struggles that these individuals faced. So Andrews had a personal motivating factor. Like for him, like he wanted to change his life. He was homeless. He had not much to lose, but a lot to gain. And he thought, well, okay. He started looking for clues, and he saw patterns. He noticed 7 clear factors that jumped out at him, that were clear, identifiable principles that were embodied in each person that he read about. Some of these people were born with them, while others, he said, seemingly learned these things. So he started wondering if he could embody these principles, could he change his life? He started trying to implement these 7 decisions into his life every day with huge success. So he says 7 principles, 7 decisions. We can create the future that we want. Our thoughts carve a path to success or failure. So it's all about how you think, what you put in your mind, and what you tell yourself. So he says that 7 decisions that determine personal success are the following. So number 1, the responsible decision. So the buck stops here, essentially. Take responsibility for your future, take control, and stop blaming others. Number 2, the guided decision. I will seek wisdom. So from books, from other people, basically getting knowledge from others, gaining knowledge from others, and from service. So by helping others, by serving others. So he calls this the guided decision. Number 3, the active decision. He says, I am a person of action. This is a wake-up call to act. So you can have all the knowledge, you can read all the books, but if you're not going to actually act on anything, nothing's going to happen. Number 4, the certain decision. He says, I have a decided heart. So break through fear and judgment, he says, and pursue your dreams. Basically, like, become focused on your own destiny. Pursue your own destiny. Be self-assured of your own destiny. Number 5, the joyful decision. Today I will choose to be happy. He says this is a choice. Like, plain and simple, it is a choice to be happy. Number 6, the compassionate decision. I will greet this day with a forgiving spirit. He says this can heal your mind, body, and soul. So forgiveness is key. And it's, again, I know we've all heard this, but he says the same thing. Forgiveness is not about the person that's hurt you. It's about you. Forgive them for you. Like, otherwise you're just going to be enchained in this. He says, number 7 is the persistent decision. I will persist without exception. Faith has no limits, he says. So just don't give up. These successful people that he read about, that is one of the things that he noticed, and it was just pure persistence. What's really neat about Andrews too is that he actually reached out to just like hundreds of, I don't know, maybe more, of successful people, like in show business and Hollywood, business, everything. And he just started asking them what their strategies for success are. And he could see the 7 decisions and principles in their actions, or in their answers rather. But it's just so fascinating. It's like he notices too, people love to talk, they love to give advice, and they love to give the advice based on personal experience. So it's funny, he just started asking the right questions, and people were like, yeah, like major names, like big names that, you wouldn't think would necessarily take the time to answer his questions, but they were happy to. And he gives a lot of examples in this book of celebrities, really, that were more than happy to tell him their secret, essentially. So he says that you can't choose what happens to you, but you can choose how you respond. And you need to be able to bounce back from temporary setbacks. So don't call them defeats, call them temporary setbacks. So it's all about like the way you phrase it, the way you look at it, very much about positive mindset and thinking. Seek wisdom, which is not the same as knowledge. And he says you gain this wisdom from reading. Like that's an easy way to gain wisdom. Just read. You don't have to start from zero. You start from other people's knowledge, other people's experiences, other people's setbacks. He says that you are who you surround yourself with, and you are what you read. So I found that very interesting. He quotes Benjamin Franklin, and he says, early to bed and early to rise, it makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. And I've heard this, like all the big names, Tony Robbins included, they all get up early, they start their day at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and they get all this stuff done. But I mean, in a lot of books that I've read too, it's proven you're more productive the first couple hours in the morning, and you do get more stuff done. So it's on my list, guys. I'm going to try to wake up early on a more consistent basis. You learn and grow from your failures and not by your success. And this was by Stan Lee, the creator of Spider-Man. Someone else that he wrote to that wrote back. Andrew says it's not possible to be grateful and unhappy at the same time. So I've heard the same about being anxious and grateful. You can't be anxious and grateful at the same time. Andrew says you can't be grateful and unhappy at the same time. So just let that kind of sink in for a minute. If you're focusing on all the things you're grateful for, you actually can't experience unhappiness at the same time. Andrew says you need to schedule time to pursue your goals. So when he was writing this book, for instance, like he would block off times where he would put his phone away. He would make sure there are no distractions. Like you need to be able to carve out time for what's important to you. It's not going to happen if you don't make the time for it. He also says that if you persist, you will not fail. It's actually not possible. If you stay the course, you will not fail because you will eventually achieve what you want to achieve. Trust you will find the way when you feel there is no way. So he's got a lot of like just good ways of thinking about things in this book. You're either going into a crisis, he says, you're in a crisis, or you just got out of one. He said, that's life. And that kind of, it really hit me, it's true. You're either going into one, you're in a crisis, or you just got out of one. And he said, just kind of like buckle up, accept this, and deal with it. And he believes in God, and this is very clear throughout the book. And he says that, God put you here on earth for a reason. And if you're still here, it means you're not done yet. Like your purpose has not been realized. So, believe in that and just keep going, just keep persisting. And it's from Joan Rivers. And her story is incredible. Like basically no one believed in her, not even her mom. Like she was like, give up, like you are not gonna make it. And this lady just did not give up. And Joan Rivers says perseverance is just as important as talent. Everyone told her she didn't have any talent, but she had a lot of persistence. And yeah. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there, but there's just so much in this book that's so very positive and impactful, and I really enjoyed reading it. So if there's anything today that you found interesting, first, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, but pick yourself up a copy of this book. I think it's a worthwhile read. And if there are any books you'd like me to review or have any suggestions for me, by all means, please let me know. And thanks for listening. Until next time.